Narrator. Imagine waking up in a place you don't recognize, with no memory of how you got there. The only clue? A cryptic note on the table. Would you be able to solve the mystery before time runs out? Let's find out in today's interactive quiz story. Stay sharp and see if you can uncover the truth before it's too late. Story. Jake wakes up in a cold, unfamiliar room. His head throbs, and as he looks around, he notices a single light bulb flickering above. On the wooden table in front of him lies a note. Find the key before midnight, or you'll never leave. He quickly checks his pockets, empty. The door is locked, and the only items in the room are a bookshelf, a clock, a mirror, and an old trunk. Jake rushes to the bookshelf, flipping through the pages of dusty books. A small slip of paper falls out. Reflections hold the truth. He turns to the mirror and notices faint writing appearing as he breathes on the glass. It reads, "The clock hides what you seek." The ticking clock on the wall seems ordinary at first, but as Jack examines it closer, he finds a tiny compartment. Inside, there's a small brass key. He grabs it, rushes to the door, and inserts the key into the lock. It clicks open. Just as he steps out, he freezes. The hallway outside is identical to the room he just left. Same bookshelf, same table, same note. But now, the note reads, "Round 2 begins." A chill runs down his spine as he realizes he's trapped in a repeating puzzle. Determined not to be stuck forever, Jake starts searching again. This time, he moves faster, finding another hidden note inside the trunk. Break the cycle. But what does it mean? Looking around desperately, he notices something he hadn't before, a small camera in the corner of the room. Someone is watching him. With a sudden surge of defiance, Jake ignores the clues and smashes the mirror instead. Behind it, he finds a hidden panel with a red button labeled Exit. Without hesitation, he presses it. The room around him flickers like a glitching screen. The walls fade, and suddenly, he finds himself standing in a bright white room. A voice echoes. "Congratulations, Jake. You are the first to escape the simulation."
One stormy night, the three sisters sat in their small apartment when a loud knock echoed at the door. Sarah glanced at the clock. It was 11 p.m. Who could it be at this hour? Ruby, impatient as ever, rushed to open the door. No one was there, just an old envelope lying on the doorstep. Sarah bent down and picked it up. In golden ink, their names were written, Sarah, Ruby, Arzu. Inside was a card. "You are invited to the house by the old lake, where your past awaits you. Come, or lose everything." No signature. Just a strange symbol. A tree with a serpent coiled around its roots. Arzu shivered and stepped back. This feels like a bad omen. But Ruby's eyes gleamed with excitement. "We have to go! It's a mystery! Maybe even treasure!" Sarah hesitated but finally decided, "We'll go, but carefully." And so the three sisters set out on a journey, one that would change their lives forever. By the time they reached the lake, the sky was ablaze with lightning. An abandoned house loomed ahead, crumbling, yet somehow alive. The front door creaked open by itself. Without fear, Ruby stepped inside first. Arzu clutched Sarah's hand tightly, trembling. The air inside was heavy and stale, as if time had frozen. Old mirrors lined the walls, and in each mirror their reflections twisted and distorted unnaturally. Sarah whispered, "This place, it's not normal." Suddenly the door slammed shut behind them, and the house came alive. Whispers crawled from the walls. Footsteps echoed on the floor, though no one was there. Ruby laughed nervously. Just the wind! But Arzu knew better. Sarah muttered, "The house wants something from us." Words began to appear on the wall. 3 sisters, 3 secrets. Each secret a door. Open the wrong door, and death is certain. 3 doors appeared before them, each with their names carved on it. Sarah's door, black. Ruby's door, red. Arzu's door, blue. Sarah took a deep breath. We won't split up. We stay together. They chose to open the first door, Sarah's. Inside was a room with ancient symbols etched into the floor. At the center stood a stone chest. On it was written, "Speak the truth or be lost forever." Next to the chest, a question appeared. "Sarah, what is the biggest secret you've hidden from your sisters?" Sarah's face paled. Ruby and Arzu turned to her, waiting. Sarah finally whispered, "When Dad was sick, I lied to you both. I said there was hope when the doctors had already given up." As soon as she confessed, the chest unlocked. Inside was a small key. Next was Ruby's door. Inside, the room glowed an eerie red. Tall mirrors stood all around, each reflecting countless versions of Ruby. A deep voice boomed, "Ruby, dare you face the truth?" One of the mirrors began to ripple, showing Ruby her greatest fear, being utterly alone. Tears welled up in her eyes. "I always pretended I didn't care." But deep down, I was terrified of being left behind. The moment her truth came out, the ground shifted and a second key emerged. Now it was time for Arzu's door. Inside, a heavy silence filled the room. A whisper floated in the air. "Arzu, when did you betray your sisters?" Tears streamed down Arzu's face. "When it was time to divide Mom's belongings. I secretly kept a hidden chest, the one that held her final memories." With her confession, the room flooded with light. A third key appeared at her feet. With all 3 keys in hand, they entered a grand hall. Before them stood one final door. Near it, a plaque read, "To open the final door, a sacrifice must be made. One sister must stay behind." The 3 sisters stared at each other in horror. Silence fell. Ruby stepped forward first. "I'll stay. I've always been the stubborn one. Maybe this is my price to pay." Arzu cried, "No, I'm the youngest. It should be me." Sarah gathered them both in her arms and declared, "I'll stay. You 2 must go on." But the house's whisper echoed, "The sacrifice must come from the heart." At that moment, Arzu gently pushed them aside and stood alone before the door. The door creaked open, flooding the hall with dazzling light. In the flood of light, everything became clear. The house had been a magical trap for generations, testing those who entered for their honesty, love, and sacrifice. Arzu's willing sacrifice shattered the house's curse. Sarah and Ruby awoke by the lakeside, bathed in the morning mist. In their hands was a small package, the very chest containing their mother's last memories. Arzu's laughter echoed gently on the breeze. "I will always be with you." Tears glistening in their eyes, hearts heavy with love and loss, Sarah and Ruby turned toward home, carrying Arzu's spirit within them forever.